It was the decades-long battle involving the world's biggest pop star and a catalogue of beloved hits. Now Taylor Swift can finally declare victory against her one-time nemesis.
For Taylor Swift fans, total vindication.
Holy we used to pray for days like these.
After almost 2 decades, the megastar finally back in control of her life's work.
Guys, this is not a drill. Taylor owns all her music.
It's the final chapter in a saga stretching back to 2005, when a 15-year-old Swift signed with Big Machine Records, giving them ownership over the masters of her first 6 albums.
Masters matter because these are the original, templates of the album. Without a master, you can't produce copies. Most artists want to own their masters because they own all the publishing and royalty rights.
In 2019, a backroom deal saw controversial music producer Scooter Braun buy the label, and with it, Swift's masters for reportedly more than $450 million.
I found out when it was online, like when it hit the news.
Swift, claiming she was shut out of the deal, instead told she could earn 1 album back for every new one she released.
And this move really was about artistic control. It was about creative control. That's why she was so up in arms about Scooter Braun owning and taking away that creative control from her.
A year later, Braun sold her back catalogue to private equity firm Shamrock Capital. And that's when Swift began re-recording the earlier albums, clawing back control with Taylor's versions.
I think that artists deserve to own their work. I just feel very passionately about that.
It was such a groundbreaking decision for Taylor to re-record her own back catalogue and upload it as Taylor's versions. And the fans loved it. And they actually did commercially better and streamed a whole heap more.
Now, in the ultimate act of poetic justice, the muso has done a deal with Shamrock, finally buying back the rights to her original albums.
I almost stopped thinking it could ever happen after 20 years of having the carrot dangled and then yanked away. But that's all in the past now. The best things that have ever been mine finally actually are.
The start of a new era for Taylor Swift.
The money in a bag and I stole the keys. That was the last time you ever...
Nick Kelly is a radio host on the Hit Network and an expert on all things Swift. Nick, what do you think? How big is this moment?
This is the most significant music deal that's been done in this century without any shadow of a doubt. This is the biggest artist in the world right now using the money that she's earned from doing that phenomenal Eras tour that we all know probably too much about to buy back the master recordings of her records. And it just adds to the narrative of this artist who has not just defined a generation for pop music fans, but also taught the music industry how to be better and how to learn from artists on what is fair and equitable to them.
Nick, if everyone's already listening to the new ones, like the Taylor's versions, why has she bothered buying back the originals?
I totally get it. The number one thing would be the re-records have actually had all those vault tracks on them as well, those additional kind of songs that kind of capture an era. There is also the fact that these albums are up to 20 years old. So hearing her re-record those original compositions in a new light with a new kind of voice to them as well. But there's also just the significance of the deal itself and being able to actually own the rights to your own music, the stuff that you poured your blood, sweat and tears into, and actually have ownership over that without some random money company or record label having that right, and being able to also exploit those rights and be able to decide what TV shows, films and advertisements that music goes to. Complete artistic control, I think, is very critical for artists in the modern age, and I think she's taught an entire new generation of artists what to do when it comes to these kind of deals.
On that, how do you think that this story has changed things for up-and-coming musos? Do you think they'll be more willing to kind of make a case for themselves early on?
It's transformative, not just for the artists themselves, but for the record labels they're signing to, for the music industry at large. I think Taylor kind of put the labels on notice when she started this case nearly 6 years ago about making sure that things are equitable for the artist in the first place, or at least when they get their recoupment, which is where they actually get the money back that they've spent on building these projects in the first place, then making it a more equitable situation for artist and record label. I also think that the democratisation of music as such in the last 5 or so years years. Artists being able to put stuff on TikTok, get 5 million views and immediately connect with a brand new fan base also makes these record labels and big corporations a little bit more cognizant of the fact that these artists in the long run don't need them. They can do this on their own. And there can be beautiful symbiotic relationships between labels and artists, but they have to be fair, and they have to be fair from the outset. So she's made a massive imprint in the future of artistry.
Hey, Nick, real quick, I know you're a Swiftie fan. What do you think sounds better, the original versions or the Taylor version?
I was hoping you weren't going to ask this question because it differs from album to album. And I'm missing my Swiftie sister Georgie Tunney tonight because she would agree with me that 1989, which is my favourite Taylor album of all time, sounded way better originally, and now we can listen guilt-free. But what I like is that she's admitted that the debut album, which she recorded 20 years ago, has already been recorded in its full, and she looks forward to putting that new version out at some point, which I think will be really nice because her voice sounds completely unrecognisable on the debut as well. So I'm ready for it. Bring it on. That's a Taylor Swift con.
Thank you so much for your expertise.
Thanks, Nick.
Appreciate it.
Pleasure, guys. Much love.